Once you know the handshake,
you
go in and
handshake. Yeah. Shut up. It is like the Stonecutters, isn't it?
Yeah. What's the there's a line in that song. It's something like, "Who made Steve Guttenberg a star?"
Yeah.
And he's a guy from Police Academy.
Who keeps the Martians under wraps? We do.
Man, amazing. Everyone ready to go? You ready?
Yeah, I'm.
2, 5, 4, 3. I'm just looking at you. Talking to your mic.
Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Clarice.
Alan. Oh, that killed me when you said that in the group chat the other day.
That's my favourite meme. But you sent it originally. I can't remember what it was about, like Jurassic Park.
No, I sent it a couple weeks ago.
It was you.
Why did I send it?
Can't remember.
I think we were talking about Jurassic Park though when I sent it. Yeah, I can't remember either.
Probably about how the remakes are just spiraling into this weird zone. Because aren't they bringing back like all the originals, like Goldblum and...
Yeah. So Goldblum's coming back.
It's going to be a Jurassic Park team up, I think.
And I forgot what the
Neil.
Something.
You know Roy. This is a friend of ours from Surrey.
Yeah.
He was on a flight, I think, from Australia to New Zealand with the main star of Jurassic Park's daughter.
Is he the guy? We're talking about the main guy who's out the Mummy as well, right? From ages ago, the one who doesn't really like acting all that much.
What is his name? I'm sure it's Neil something, or it's Sam Neill.
Is it? Oh no, I don't want.
Is that Alan?
I don't want the Tom Cruise remake. What's his name? Brendan Fraser.
He's not in Jurassic Park.
Is he not?
No, he's not in Jurassic Park.
I thought he was.
No, not at all.
Is he? Okay.
Brendan Fraser. Fucking love Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, we
were literally talking about this last week when you were not here. Wait, was it last week?
Yeah. What did you think of El Camino?
I've still not watched it.
I haven't watched it. Unbelievable.
Call yourself a fan.
He's in The Mummy Returns.
Who?
You
Sam
said
Neill?
Jurassic Park.
Oh, sorry. So I did.
Right. Do you want your?
I said that episode of Scrubs.
Do you want your tea, Arlo?
I've got it. It's behind me.
Cool. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah, it's on the stretch.
Hope that picks up that.
You can cut that.
Okay, well.
Cut that out.
Hello, welcome back, and thanks for listening to Slate Six Podcast, episode number 18.
Yeah.
Double check that.
18.
Film podcast where we talk movies, major Hollywood happenings, tall tales of television, and to be continued. My name's Andrew. To my right is Mr. Joe.
Hey.
And to my left is Mr. Arlo.
Afternoon, boys.
I just had in my peripherals that plate you've got that says number one teacher.
Yeah. Quality.
Yeah, Mr. Joe.
Mr. Joe.
That's the best teaching gift I'd ever got, I reckon.
I would frame that. I love it. I wish I had it, actually.
It's given to me by this Korean student called Jewel, who was in my year 7 class, and the first day of me teaching out there, she turned up wearing full Adidas tracksuit and high tops, and I was like, "You're a legend."
We're
gonna get on.
I remember we had that heart in your mouth moment a couple of years back when we first moved in here, and I think you put it on the windowsill originally, and it gets so windy sometimes when we open.
Oh, yeah.
And it blew straight off the windowsill, and fell onto the carpet.
Yeah.
But for some reason
Heart
didn't
mouth.
break. Yeah, it was like, oh.
Yeah, it got moved swiftly.
Yeah. I'd be so sad if that broke. That's also something I could imagine finding in a charity shop, and buying
you
for
would
myself.
buy that, would you?
Yeah, I'd buy it for myself.
Pretend that you're Mr. Joe.
We should put that on the Instagram, actually. It's amazing.
Maybe we will.
I watched a movie this week that I want to talk about it. Can I do it now?
Yeah,
or
talk about it.
Before I watched Bait, which is a Cornish indie movie, and it's amazing. It's about this local fisherman who is basically sick and tired of tourists from London coming in with all their money and like buying property and just getting in the way of things.
Does much actually happen in the movie, or?
Yeah. There's some like quite tense moments and dramatic moments, but it's like on a very small scale.
It's set in the modern day, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's shot in black and white.
Yeah, black and white. It's cheaper to shoot in black and white.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really good, and I really recommend anyone go watch it. I think we should do an episode about it.
Yeah, my dad was telling me about it last week. He was like, "You gotta watch this."
Has he seen it?
No.
Okay.
No, but obviously down there, it's like massive news that this movie's come out, and I think like, do you know there's a new cinema in Newlyn?
Yeah. It's meant to be really cool. The like art one.
Yeah. So it's like a cafe and big, like you can take a bottle of wine in, big comfy chairs. It's not that new anymore, to be honest. Like 3 or 4 years old.
But I've heard about it.
I think they're doing screenings there for it.
Oh, wicked. Yeah, we should get on. Yeah, we should do an episode because it does really capture having grown up. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
In the Cornish vibe, it just captured it so much. Like,
where in Cornwall is it set?
I think they've shot it at a lot of places. I don't know if it's specified. I might have missed the first 5-10 minutes too because I was quite late. But looking at it, I think like the fishing stuff. I think it's Mousehole. Is that got those really high key walls?
Yeah. I think it was shot in Mousehole.
Yeah, I think some of the other stuff, like where he lives, I feel like is shot in Newquay.
All right.
Like the sort of town roads.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it doesn't have to be one place.
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
It could just be a Cornish town.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
no, I want to watch that.
I really recommend it. Yeah.
Cool.
That's that. So
wait, where did you watch it?
Picture House in Hackney, in the cinema.
Nice.
Yeah, in one of those.
Was there many Cornish people there? Do you reckon?
I don't know. Probably not. What's really good is like there is an underlying thing to it that's kind of like an up yours to London.
Oh, really?
You know, there's some bits like about Airbnb and gentrification.
Oh, I see.
And I would like to actually, I'd be quite interested for someone, maybe you, Arlo, who's not grown up in Cornwall, to watch it and see what you think. Because
I mean, if you're slagging off London, I'm probably not going to be best pleased.
But yeah, it'd just be interesting to have your point of view, because the person I watched it with had lived in Cornwall for a few years, so they kind of got a lot of it. So it'd be nice to see it on the.
Yeah, I've only been down there once as well, so I don't.
Did you?
Yeah, that was New Year's Eve.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you go fancy dress?
No, we went to. We went down to St Ives.
Yeah, we did the whole St Ives thing.
But not in fancy dress.
No.
Because I've recently learnt that that's a Cornish tradition to do fancy dress in New Year.
Well, I mean, that would have just ended up costing Andre like twice the money because he would have been sick all over his costume as well.
Yeah, we got our ratios way off and way too early.
Oh, really? Peaked too soon?
Peaked way
like
too early.
9 p.m.
Like
falling around.
Like Andre was in bed by 9 p.m.
Being sick into a bowl.
Wow. Was this in your student days?
Just after?
Just after.
22, 23?
Yeah, because it was just before I moved to Korea.
Yeah.
So it was 2015. Yeah, New Year's 2015.
Yeah.
We should take a trip to Cornwall.
We should.
Go to the cinema
We should get Nev to come pick us up in a plane.
I'm not getting on no plane, Jeff. It was a weird experience. Basically, one of us, Andre was sick in the back of this cab as we're going back to Penzance from St Ives.
Yeah.
Like a lot, like everywhere.
Yeah.
And then our other friend Ollie punched me in the face.
Why?
Because I lifted, Ollie was hammered as well.
That was
No. I lifted Ollie out of the seat to, because he was next to Andre and he was kind of like smashing Andre on the back, trying to like, thinking he was being helpful.
Yeah.
So I was like, swap positions with me because I was like a bit more lucid. And he wouldn't swap, so then I kind of just picked him up and threw him into the seat that I was in, and like started trying to like console Andre, and then I like looked up and he just smashed me in the face.
Jeez. That taxi driver must have been like, what is going on?
He didn't see any of it happen. Joe
I
sat in the front with him.
having a lovely conversation with him.
You're that guy, the designated who's going to sit in the front and chat shit to the taxi driver.
And
Nice.
Will, the whole time Will's there and he's like, just don't say anything, like, I know he's been sick, but we'll get out of the cab and he won't even know.
Will old speckled hen Will
Yeah.
that I met. Yeah.
Old speckled head Will.
That's it. We'll start calling him that.
Yeah. For anyone listening, that was Joe's birthday party a few weeks ago, and he rocked up quite late, really drunk. He'd been at like the races,
been at the horse races.
And they turned up with a 4-pack of old speckled hen, which you only drink if you're like over the age of 55, I would say.
At heart, he is over 55.
Yeah, he always has been.
I mean, you know that slapping on the back thing?
Yeah.
That is never helpful, even when you're choking. It's just annoying.
Well, I
isn't
disagree with that entirely.
it?
Actually.
Really?
If someone's choking, you either Heimlich or you like.
You don't slap them on the back.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Does that work?
Yeah, because I've seen, or like my dad's one of my dad's friends had his baby with him once, and they were at a restaurant, and his baby started choking, and he didn't know what to do.
Oh.
But apparently, because it's happened to
baby
me
you
so
do.
many times, my dad's like, I know what to do. Basically, just turned his baby upside down and
Yeah,
smacked
you
it
whack
on
it,
the
yeah.
like on the bottom.
On the
Yeah.
butt?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were supposed to do like 3 fingers on the back of the like.
No, apparently upside down and just like you're dipping Achilles into the river Styx.
How do we get there from bait?
I don't know. But apparently when I was 6 months old, I almost choked on a fridge magnet. And I honestly was like, my mum turned around and I was there and I was just like going blue.
Anything for attention. Unbelievable.
So,
Your mum's just trying to get on with her day, and you're like, no, I want to make this about me. Where's that fridge magnet?
who's got news?
News.
News. Who's got news?
There's a couple of casting.
I knew he was going to go straight to this. I
Because
knew
you're
it.
so smug
No,
about
I
this.
was actually. Oh my fucking god! I was actually going to talk about Zoe Kravitz
Oh, yeah.
as Catwoman
In.
in Matt Reeves' The Batman.
Yes.
Jonah Hill's also dropped out.
Uh-huh.
Did you hear about why he dropped out?
No.
Apparently, he wanted $10 million.
Whoa. Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously that is a lot in the way you've said it, but I don't know
Well,
what
our
kind of...
Pats won't be getting that.
Right.
as the
okay,
Batman.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Jonah Hill as the Penguin getting more would be kind of ridiculous.
Is it confirmed, the Penguin? That
What,
he
that-
was...
Yeah,
they wanted him
that's
for?
what it was intended to be.
Okay. Because I know someone else has been cast in a role, which I'm sure you'll talk about, but I was wondering if he was the next in
Yeah,
line.
so they're doing like an Arkham storyline from what I understand of it. So there's going to be multiple villains anyway.
Right.
Probably, I'm expecting Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman to be more of an antagonist in this than
cool.
like a team up
Yeah.
antagonist.
She's in Mad Max.
She's
the
in
one of the
Mad
latest ones.
Max. She was in Big Little Lies, the TV show.
That's a great TV show.
And she was also in X-Men: Days of Future Past, which we'll talk about later.
I've got some news about X-Men actually.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, this is working out
Do
very
you want me
well.
to go into it now?
Yeah.
Our favourite theme tune.
Yeah.
Someone's come out and claimed that theme tune is a rip-off of a Hungarian or Bulgarian cop drama.
No.
And listen to it, and there's some like very striking similarities between it. It's called Judy, if you can find it on your laptop. Judy, yeah, TV show. It's from the 80s. And so this guy is suing Fox/Disney/Marvel because he claims that theme tune is responsible for everything great X-Men, which is kind of true.
Yeah, but it doesn't work that way,
Yeah.
does it? It's like I came up with the song for the original animated series. I'm going to take all of your profits from all of the future franchise.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking ridiculous.
I think they'll just pay him off.
Yeah,
Out of court settlement.
lots of money
Yeah.
for doing fuck all work.
Yeah. But he's
Good lad.
It's like the guy who's suing or is being represented by someone has like come into the copyright of this TV theme. He's like not actually related to it in any way. I don't think. Just somehow he's ended up with the rights to this TV theme
It's called
tune.
Linda, not
Linda,
Judy.
sorry.
Is this it? This is it. Will it play? It will play.
Are we allowed to play this?
I think we can do 30 seconds.
Oh, okay. Oh shit! Yeah, that's 100%, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, stop it before we get pulled.
Yeah, before we get sued too.
Yeah, he's gonna try and take all.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, so I think they'll pay him. He'll probably get a sweet sum for that.
Ooh.
Which I'm a
Yeah,
bit.
cheddar.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed about because I've said it before. I think I've watched that documentary about the composer. I think there's like a 25-minute documentary on YouTube about this theme tune and like him talking about how he came up with it and arranged it. And now I'm like,
You fucking liar.
yeah,
Yeah, he just heard it elsewhere.
yeah, he must have
It's like
done.
Coldplay. Oh yeah, the idea for Viva La Vida came to me in the fucking bathtub. Yeah, fuck off, Chris Martin.
I like Chris Martin.
Do you?
Yeah, they stole that song.
Did
They settled out of court because they stole it off someone.
he?
Yeah.
I just like that he wears really short t-shirts for no reason. Like he's got so much money and he just can't find a t-shirt that fits him.
I don't think he's that likable.
He's more likable than Gwyneth Paltrow.
It's
Well,
not saying much.
I always thought she was all right.
No, she's,
It's like
Really?
saying you're more likable than the common cold.
no, she's very holier than thou, isn't she?
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Their kid's called like Apple or something like
Apple.
that.
Yeah.
It's quite cool, but
That's not
very.
That's not cool.
But back to Zoe Kravitz.
Yeah.
I
I like that casting. What do you
Yeah,
think?
me too.
I'm worried that they're trying to do too much. Like a kind of DC, like we're just gonna have like 4 or 5 big characters that have got no backstories. And they're not gonna have enough time to develop everything in the space of that film.
Also, there's 4 confirmed castings for that movie already, isn't there?
Yep.
There's
Our Pats.
Arbats, Zoe Kravitz, Jeffrey Wright, and now Paul Dano as well.
Yeah.
Dano?
Comeback player of the
Yeah.
year.
Comeback
You
player.
called it.
Called
So
it.
annoying.
I like that as well. That casting.
It's really good.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
I am, but like Arlo was kind of just saying that if it's meant to be focusing on Batman as a detective and they're just throwing villains at him, wouldn't it be better for him just to be looking for one person?
Yeah, no, like we already talked about a couple of weeks ago, it's more going to be a detective Batman.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's why they've got such a strong actor to play Commissioner Gordon in
Oh,
Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah, Jeffrey Wright.
So I think it'll be a lot of him liaising with the police and maybe working with Catwoman, who won't be like in her spandex jumping around the city. I imagine she'll be.
Has there been a successful portrayal of Catwoman in the last 50 years?
Halle Berry.
Anne Hathaway wasn't terrible.
No, I agree that she wasn't terrible, but I also don't think she was
It wasn't
good.
accurate, was it? Probably the 1966 woman, maybe.
So my sister has a story about Anne Hathaway. She was at the premiere for like Alice in Wonderland or something.
Oh
It's
yeah,
quite a
the
while
Tim
back.
Burton.
Yeah. And she went into the toilets, and Anne Hathaway was just in there. And obviously, my sister's like big into acting.
Yeah.
And, like she was a little bit starstruck, and she kind of I think she just stood there and like gawped. And Anne Hathaway kind of didn't say anything. And then Anne Hathaway's PA like ran into the toilet. It's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like really apologetic. And Anne Hathaway was like a complete bitch to her.
What?
Yeah, it was just like
About what?
she's just like she's like, oh, you told me to wait here, and like I've been waiting for like 10-15 minutes. This is a joke. Like, what's going on? And I was like,
Think for yourself, Anne Hathaway.
my sister was like, wow.
Yeah. I was in the
Which is funny because she was Catwoman.
nice. I was in the bathroom with Edgar Wright a few weeks ago, and
I don't want to know what you were doing with him.
It was really weird because there was autograph hunters outside. It was at the BFI,
Yeah.
and it's so strange walking out of a toilet and there just being a crowd of people. Obviously not there for me, but the poor guy.
Do you think the 686 had made it?
You're a big Edgar Wright fan.
Yeah,
though,
I
as well.
am, but I'm not going to talk to him in a bathroom or or shake his hand or anything like that.
Did you try and get a look at his penis?
No,
Was he in the
it-
stall next to you?
It was
Knock, knock,
no.
knock.
I used the urinal, and he had a bag on him, I think, which was put in like the corner of the bathroom. It's quite a small bathroom, and then he must have been in the cubicle because he wasn't next to me in the urinal.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he
he came
was
out in the
taking a
bathroom.
massive dump.
That was when He probably went in there for privacy. It'd be
Can
weird.
you imagine if you just like you went in the cubicle next to him and took a single like bit of toilet roll, pushed it under the door with a pen?
Sign that, please.
Like, Edgar.
It was really weird because we were in the same screening. He was like a few seats down from me, which I was like fanning out more on than being in the toilet with him. It was just too awkward.
Are you sure this was him? You've
100%.
got a history of this, Andrew.
No, this was. I wasn't drunk. This was 100% Edgar Wright.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
Well, I'm
really
sure
cool.
he wouldn't have minded if you went up and had a chat. Not that I know him,
Yeah.
but he seems like quite a nice.
Yeah, he seems
nice
down,
open
but
guy.
I think like he was coming. Yeah, he was just like, I just want to go to the bathroom, and there's all these autograph hunters. Yeah,
Let me pee in peace.
yeah,
people.
exactly. I'm a big fan,
One
but
of the autograph hunters like, bottle it for me.
yeah, someone goes in after like Dustin for Prince.
Wow.
Cool. When's the Batman coming out?
2021.
That's some
Why?
way off, isn't it?
We're ages away, and it's already been pumped up.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say 2020.
No, definitely not. I don't know. It probably haven't even started filming yet. We're still getting casting news, aren't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
The one thing that I'm quite glad of though is that they've decided to go with the Edward Nashton name for Riddler because
instead of Enigma.
Enigma.
Yeah.
Oh,
Any detective.
it's
Enigma, isn't it?
Enigma. Yeah.
Ligma. So I don't know if you caught the kind of side plot to Jonah Hill turning down this role. Did you know who they went after straight after he turned it down?
No.
Seth Rogen.
Ooh.
What?
They've basically been like,
As in Green Hornet.
Whose
who
fan got
looks
curly
kind
hair?
of like Jonah Hill and is like also known for comedy.
That really worries me though.
Well, I think that speaks to that they've got a really specific vision for this character.
Yeah, not one that I would want though.
I
Yeah.
can only imagine that it's Penguin. Has to be Penguin,
Must
right?
be. It also kind of worries me that I feel like this is happening since the Heath Ledger thing. That now there's kind of a trend of let's get someone,
Who people won't expect.
really obscure for the role, even if they're not the best for
Yeah,
it.
but the thing is, when it was Jonah Hill, I was like, okay, like, obviously he's known for comedy roles, but he has got some fucking great acting chops as
Yeah.
well. Whereas Seth Rogen, I like him, but he's not like an Academy Award winning actor, is he? Like, it will be a comedic Penguin role,
Yeah.
which I don't want to see. I want to see I want to see someone a bit more, I don't know, in depth.
Yeah. Do you think they're going to go more realistic in this movie?
Well, yeah. I don't think we'll be seeing Jim Carrey's the Riddler. And I don't want to see Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
No, okay.
I want to see, more like Joaquin Phoenix's Joker.
Yeah.
Like,
There was a thing about that, actually. I think this is just a rumour that apparently Jared Leto is
neither of those. It's not Leto and it's not Leto. It's Jared Leto.
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 Jared Leto.
apparently
Harrod as well.
Jared.
Jared Leto. He would love that, I think. Well, apparently he's in a bit of a strop. I think this is one of those naysayer rumours, but he's in
Yeah.
some kind of strop about.
I don't think he's a naysayer. I think he's a narcissist. I think it's highly accurate.
Really, yeah.
Yeah,
He's annoyed that they went ahead and made Joker without him, because I think that's really what he wanted to
Well,
be.
I don't think they ever officially fired him as the Joker.
No, they just kind of brushed it under
They were
the
just
carpet.
like, well, let's just forget that ever happened, shall we?
That's not canon.
Go back to playing in your sweet, sweet band.
Me and
quote
Mr.
unquote.
J broke up. That's all we get.
Yeah.
Are you disrespecting me? Yeah. Even I know everyone always goes on about the cut was pretty brutal, but even the bits that he's in aren't good.
I don't mind them.
I don't think they're good.
It's just not a good film.
Does he
is
have
it?
in the movie the tattoos on his forehead and stuff? Or was that just on that poster?
I-
No,
No,
yeah,
no,
he does.
I
Yeah.
can't
he does,
remember,
yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah, he's covered in tattoos, and he's got silver grills instead of.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. You said you'd recently watched Shazam,
Shazam! Yeah, I watched it on the plane back.
and you said, what was your kind of thoughts on that? And what,
Meh. But no, solid film. Solid, more aimed at kids. in terms of DC properties, one of the better ones. Better than Aquaman, not as good as I don't know, a good DC film, if there is one.
Apparently, it made a lot of money, that film.
Yeah,
It's good. Did well at the box office, and as a result,
how much? I'm guessing 800.
I'm not sure how much, but as a result of the success of Shazam, there are rumors swirling that there's going to be a spin-off shot in 2020, summer 2020, with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, big star power, playing Black Adam.
Black Adam, yeah. Wow, he's finally entering one of the universes.
What is that character? Do you know much?
I don't know, to be honest.
A bit like, from what I can glean, it's like the anti Shazam, like the kind of like Venom to Spider-Man.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
but I've not heard a lot about the
What,
character.
like an
before,
anti-hero? Or
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's going to be whichever one he was, Hobbs and Shaw, but just in spandex.
What was it? Hobbs, wasn't
Which
it?
one is it? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Hobbs. He's Luke Hobbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Like,
Apparently, he's been eyeing this part for 10 years.
really?
He feels really attached to it. Yeah.
That's good to know, but I think he might be too much of a star now to like. I'm just gonna see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's not like I don't think like obviously a lot of famous actors have been part of cinematic universes, but not generally at times where they're at their biggest fame.
Yeah. It kind of puts them into that. Yeah. I can't remember who was. Yeah, maybe this was an interview with Taika Waititi, but he was talking about this similar thing. Like if, I think it was with Jojo Rabbit. I think he was talking about if you put such a big name into, this. I think this was his reasoning why he ended up playing Hitler, because the studio were kind of like, you have to do it, and he was like, fine. But I think he was saying that sometimes you put such a big name in, it sort of takes you out of it, and then that becomes the focal point for people. And then you sort of miss story points and other such things.
Yeah, and it has been used to the detriment of films where instead of trying to write a good script or do good animation, they're like, oh, don't worry, we've just got a big star, he'll sell the tickets for us.
Exactly.
So it kind of like when I see a big star entering a film, I'm sometimes a bit skeptical about it.
Yeah.
Because are they just using this like actor because they know it will get me to come to the cinema? Have they actually put effort into it? Yeah.
So there you go. Apparently to be directed by Jaume Collet-Serra, who is also directing Jungle Cruise, which is like a live Disney action adventure.
Oh, is that the next Pirates of the Caribbean type thing?
Next Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, based on a Disney ride, and it becomes a movie.
It?
Yeah, I don't know. Pirates of the Caribbean was a ride. Yeah.
So it's going to be out in July this year with Emily Blunt co-starring. But Black Adam will be 2020, summer 2020.
Okay.
Well, Shazam actually only made 365 million at the box office, but
That's not bad.
it's not bad. Well, I suppose I'm comparing it to Marvel, but its budget was only 100, so
Okay, so it's profitable.
Yeah.
There you go. That's why
really
they'll
good.
make another one.
yeah. But that's the problem though, because that's the same reason we're going to get Aquaman 2, even though Aquaman was terrible.
Yeah.
Aquaman made over $1 billion.
Yeah.
That's insane.
1.1. That's nuts, isn't it?
Yeah. That
There's
is
literally no substance. to
So
that film.
many middle-aged women going to see Jason Momoa with
Yeah.
their top off.
He is a snack. To be
He
fair.
is delicious.
Does he go ooh ah? Is that a Jason Momoa thing? Is Aquaman? My man.
Who are?
Yeah.
I think he does
Is
in,
it in
Justice
Justice League?
Yeah.
I still haven't seen Justice League.
I've seen clips. I saw it on YouTube.
Ooh-ah!
Yeah. My man.
Why does he do that?
I don't know. It's great though. So we're talking of power in numbers, I kind of wanted to mention China and China versus Hollywood stuff.
Yeah. So the recent one was Quentin.
Yes. Yeah.
I only saw the headline for that. I didn't actually read the story.
Well, it's now Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is now it was going to be Quentin Tarantino's first movie to actually premiere in China. It's now been cancelled because he's like, I'm not going to re-edit.
Yeah.
This comes off the back of the NBA stuff and the South Park.
Oh my god!
Have you seen that South Park episode?
I haven't seen the episode yet, but I read the.
It's
Have
amazing.
you got the quote?
I don't have it in front of me.
Do you want me to find it?
Yeah, go on, read it out. I'll talk about. There is in that episode though. They talk about the biopic, and they say a lot of the things we said in our biopic episode. Yeah, which is quite. I quite like that.
Into us.
Yeah, and it's so good. And Stan's in this band, and they're just full on death metal, and they have to make this biopic of it.
Is he Lord? I'm Lord. Yeah.
So I haven't seen the episode. From what I understand, it's like them hitting out at China for like basically like Hollywood and the NBA pandering to them by like changing movies and stuff.
Yeah, it's
to
about
get the Chinese like box office.
Yeah, it's about Hollywood targeting China as a market just because it's so profitable just from powers in numbers.
Do you know about Iron Man 2? No, Iron Man 3, sorry. So that's got an extra 12-minute scene of a Chinese doctor taking out Tony Stark's like arc reactor
yeah. There we
out of
go.
his heart. And yeah.
That South Park episode is amazing. You should watch it because there's some really good Marvel Disney stuff in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it the first episode of season 23 then, is it?
Second, I think.
Okay.
Basically, Randy's now a weed farmer.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
Integrity Farms.
Integrity Farms, yeah. And he goes to China to try and sell them weed. Yeah, it's a really good episode. But do you have the quote?
Yeah,
there?
I've got the quote.
So good.
So this is Trey Parker's. Well, so they cancelled South Park in China.
Yeah.
They cancelled all of South Park.
Off this episode.
And so he responded
That
by...
is so China.
That's so China.
I hope that becomes a
Hey,
phrase.
Don't alienate our Chinese audience. Do you know
They're not allowed to listen to us.
It says, like the NBA, we welcome the Chinese censors into our homes and into our hearts. We too love money more than freedom and democracy. Xi doesn't look like Winnie the Pooh at all. Tune in to our 300th episode this Wednesday at 10. Long live the great Communist Party of China. May the autumn's sorghum harvest be bountiful. We all good now, China? My favorite is Xi doesn't look like Winnie the Pooh at all.
It's great because Winnie the Pooh is in this episode, and that's because a student likened him to Winnie the Pooh.
Oh,
and I don't know
Who's Xi?
he's the
president.
president of China. I think
He looks like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
He really does.
So on this too, Star Wars is making a Chinese novel to help boost the box office.
Ugh.
That's like a bit of news from this week.
Oh, by the way, the trailer comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
During
The new Star Wars trailer.
during the American football.
That's today.
No, Monday Night Football.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to mention it, and
Yeah.
it's kind of it's Star Wars. Like you don't need any more money, surely.
Well, yeah, but that's like the difference between 1 billion and 2 billion, isn't it? At the
Yeah,
box
true.
office.
They make an absolute fortune off those movies.
Yeah.
And the merch, actually.
Do you reckon Star Wars, if it gets this Chinese cut, is it going to top Endgame?
No. I don't think it
No?
will. I don't
No.
think there's enough people in like England and
In
the
the
US.
world?
Yeah.
I think...
It's a Christmas release, though. People love going to the cinema for it.
They do, but also people
But I think
don't.
Marvel's Endgame was much more of a worldwide event. And I don't know why, because I feel like Star Wars should be as well.
Yeah.
I think it'd be surprised. If it gets this Chinese release, I think it might... I don't think it will pass Endgame, but I think it will get close.
I think it also depends at how good it is, what affects our side of the thing, so the West
Yeah.
as like a broad term. But I think if it's good, then it'll do really well here, and just that word of mouth thing will then bump it up. Because Endgame was such an event, and I knew some people that don't care about comic movies, but they're like, oh, it just sounds fun that this has all come together, and everyone's like,
Yeah.
there's like almost a weird community to it.
Yeah, I suppose. And there's also a lot of hate on the second episode of the new trilogy of Star Wars as well.
Well, I don't understand that at all. I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, me too.
I know. I rewatched it the other night, and
Did you?
there's big sections of it that.
Well, the casino scene that we've already
Yeah.
mentioned. But
No, it's more than that.
The blue milk scene.
I don't know. It's like I don't know. A lot of it felt forced for me.
Really?
No, there's some great scenes in that.
Good
Whether
plan.
they're fighting on the salt planet at the end, or the moon,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, the end.
That's cool.
The end scene is
But you're
cool.
getting all the red come from underneath the...
Like
Yeah. that's
yeah,
cool.
but her like training with Luke was pretty crappy. The whole mission to go, I don't know. I didn't think it was that good.
It's following like Luke training with Yoda as well, isn't it? It's like similar.
It's not as good.
Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of these fans, they boycotted it, right? And they set up this petition, get episode 8 remade. Rewritten.
Why do fans think that they have like the clout in this day and age to just rewrite things they don't enjoy?
Yeah.
It's like that's not how it fucking works.
No.
It's like,
I agree with you on that part. But
petition to get season 8 of Game of Thrones re-recorded. Yeah, like good fucking luck with that, you absolute plebeians.
have a couple drinks last night, did we, Arlo?
Yeah, I mean, give me strength.
I wish we had a video shot of this, because you're in a sweet chair this week, holding the mic and leaning very far back.
Well, when I was set up about 5 minutes ago, Andrew, my head began to hurt quite a lot, so I've decided to recline.
Talking of Star Wars,
go on.
Adam Driver and his new project.
Yes.
Is this with ScarJo?
This was ScarJo. Did you watch the trailer?
I've not seen the trailer, but I've read a little bit about it.
Yeah, looks really good.
Trailer.
So this is, from what I was reading, this is like Netflix's big push along with The Irishman. Those two properties will be like their award attempts, basically.
Yeah.
So it's called, what's it called? The Marriage? No.
Marriage Story?
Oh, Marriage Story.
Yeah.
Is The Irishman out already?
No. They had the UK premiere last week.
Yeah, had UK premiere.
But it doesn't come out till November, I think.
No, I think it was definitely October. I think
for us it's November.
I think the initial release in cinemas is October in the States, and then Netflix November.
Release date UK. Oh yeah, you're right, 8th of November.
Boom.
Oh no, arriving on Netflix 27th of November.
Ooh.
Still November.
Yeah. I know, but it's just a bit disappointing.
So this one, The Marriage Story, Noam Baumbach, is it? Baumbach? He did that film with Adam Sandler and
Click.
No, there's actually a pretty decent film, surprisingly, with
The Waterboy.
That's the one. No, I've forgotten the person's name.
Longest Yard.
Little Nicky.
We could do this all day.
Jack and Jill.
No, it's with Ben Stiller
Happy
and Adam
Gilmore?
Sandler and
Not the Life of Walter Schmidt or whatever.
No. And their dad's Dustin Hoffman, and he's like a famous artist, and they're like, it's basically a family story, very much like this new one. This one, so this is doing the same thing as The Irishman, as it's coming out in cinemas like 6th of November, and then it'll drop on Netflix on the 6th of December. So just in time to be a contender for probably not Best Picture, but people are thinking that they might put Adam Driver forward for Best Actor.
He's really good. Have you seen Black Klansman?
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's really funny.
I've heard, obviously, it got mixed reviews, but I think his performance in The Dead Don't Die was the one, like, saving grace of the movie, apparently. So, I mean,
we never actually went and saw that, did we?
No.
We spoke about it ages and ages ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Star Wars is good and this is good, he's had a hell of a year.
He's a very, very good actor.
He's really good,
Seriously, watch the trailer for this. It looks like really emotional, just like a really like close family story about this couple that are getting divorced.
Good character study, kind of.
Yeah.
With him and ScarJo at the helm. It looks really good.
I hope she wins Best Actress, because I was saying this off mic, but she is consistently good in everything she does.
I disagree.
Really?
What would you say she's not good in?
I need to get her filmography up. She's done some shit.
She's done Lucy, that was not good.
She was in Don John with what's his face?
Oh, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah. Have you seen that film?
No.
Is that the one where he's like a serial masturbator?
Yeah. Well, like, kind of.
Imagine if it wasn't, and I just.
He's basically a sex addict in that film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that.
And she
Okay.
plays this like New Jersey, like kind of. Yeah, I do like her though. I do like Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the trailer for this looks really good. Her performance and his performance look
I think
amazing.
I heard you prior to the podcast saying that you think Lucy's a reasonable film though, which it just isn't.
I've not seen it.
I did not say that.
No,
Or her performance in it is.
I did not say that.
What did you say then?
He said that she's been consistent, and I said, oh, don't forget she was in Lucy.
And then
Ghost in the Shell.
I didn't see it.
That got slated.
That got loads of hate for whitewashing as well, didn't it?
But didn't they do some kind of clever workaround? I say clever.
Oh God, what did they do?
I think it was that. I don't think this is clever. Note to everyone listening. I think that her character was Asian and then died and then is now put in an American body or something like that. I think is
gross
what they did. Yeah.
She. I mean, that was interesting though, wasn't it? The Ghost in the Shell kind of scandal that came out, the whitewashing, because then she was meant to play that gangster.
What the
transgender?
Yeah, transgender.
Or transsexual.
And she pulled out of it.
Yeah,
she?
Yeah.
Probably a smart
because of backlash. Yeah. No, she has been in some good films as well, though. You know, like Black Dahlia. Other Berlin Girl, Vicky Cristina Barcelona. He's just not that into you.
Lost in Translation.
Lost in Translation's amazing.
I don't know.
We Bought a Zoo.
That's got our Pats, our Bats in.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, it does.
Hail Caesar. I didn't really like that, but she's been in some awesome films.
Yeah,
she's got quite an impressive filmography. I will concede that.
Yeah. So I'm quite excited about that. It's kind of slipped under the radar, and just a trailer dropped a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard anything about it beforehand.
I'd read that it was good on some. I think it got screened at a film festival, and someone wrote it's really good.
It's testament to again the original content coming out of Netflix at the moment, especially in terms of films.
Yeah. They
seem to be focusing a lot on original films at the moment. For some reason.
Yeah, I think maybe I don't know.
I mean, imagine if The Irishman wins Best Picture and Adam Driver wins Best Actor. I don't think he will, but
it'll be a supporting. Do you think?
No, he'll be lead.
Okay.
Spielberg will have a fucking fit.
Yeah.
2 Netflix films winning.
This is really weird, but I never realised that Scarlett Johansson basically got her start in 8-Legged Freaks.
8-Legged Freaks? That spider one?
Yeah, she's in it. Like a really young Scarlett Johansson, yeah.
I've got one last bit of news if no one's got anything else, because this will lead us into our topic of the week. Live action Pinnochio, which I can't remember if we've talked about before.
Oh, God.
But the director...
Really? They're doing fucking Pinocchio now?
Well, they're doing them all, aren't they? All the like Renaissance Disneys, I think they're doing. Yeah. The director being eyed is Robert Zemeckis. Which you don't like.
I don't like Forrest Gump.
Yeah, that's it, Forrest Gump. But he obviously directed Back to the Future and wrote Back to the Future.
Yeah. Well, then stick to writing and directing stuff. Stop doing...
It's almost like art imitating life as well, isn't it? Like, you know, Pinocchio, puppet, Disney behind the scenes pulling all the strings.
Yeah.
They are the disgusting Geppetto of the film industry.
And we're just a bunch of innocent Jimimies.
So on that, our topic this week is time travel movies. And what are we going to do? What makes them good? What is there a notoriously bad one? Because even the bad ones are pretty...
Yeah,
they're fine, aren't they?
Yeah, there are some where I'm like, that should be a bad film, but it was actually kind of good.
Yeah, there's something about time travel movies that just have...
I don't know.
Heart.
Yeah, I mean, humans are just so interested in time travel, aren't we? So it's just it's quite a fun topic to do, I think.
I know there's always tropes in time travel films, aren't there? And I think the main one is don't change anything when you go back in time.
Yes.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's usually the case, isn't it? It's usually like the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Of anything, even the smallest change could have massive ramifications.
And I think the best thing I've ever seen it done in is The Simpsons, where Homer goes back in time and he's just like, he accidentally steps on this little insect or something and he's like, oh God. And then he goes back to the future and everything's changed. So he goes back in time again and he's just like, he can't change things back to how they were. So he just starts like smashing everything up in this like prehistoric world around him.
Doesn't one as well, he sneezes and then all the dinosaurs just fall like dominoes.
Oh, this is going to cost me. And then he goes back and it's like, he's in an amazing house. And then he's like, will you pass me the donuts? It's like, what's a donut? And he goes back and then it starts raining donuts outside.
Yeah, that's great. Yes, the trick to them, I feel, is set up your rules
Yeah.
for time travel.
Yeah, there's a few films that kind of establish their rules and then break them straight away.
Yeah.
Or they don't quite work. So I suppose, I mean, this, like any genre, can be split up into multiple subgenres.
Yes, yeah, I've got a few written down.
Have you?
Yeah, I've kind of written down some.
Do you want to go through some of them?
Well, so I've got like action, obviously,
So-
it's an easy one. So under that, you'd have your Doctor Strange, your Endgame.
I've just thought of one. Minority Report.
Oh yeah, that is, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yes, because the AI is seeing future things that
Yeah,
happen.
but they're not travelling in time.
No,
So
true.
they're seeing it before it happens.
Yeah, that's clairvoyance.
Oh, sorry.
It's not like... I know,
That's next week's topic.
Well, it is Halloween.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. You can't class Minority Report as a time
Fine.
travel film.
All right. Well, okay, great. We're establishing
Yeah.
things. This is
We're
good.
establishing our own rules
Yeah.
now.
Time Cop, that's action. Xmen, Days of Future Past.
Back to the Future.
Yeah, that's kind of more comedy, I would say.
Would you?
Yeah, I don't know, action it's tricky because like all of them are, I can't think of one that's not comedic, really.
Looper.
Maybe 12 Monkeys as well.
Yeah, Looper.
Yeah.
Looper's a strange one. What did you think of Looper?
I like it, but...
Looper's one of those ones that I was talking about a minute ago that kind of sets up its rules and then breaks its rules.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have its rules because it just kind of glosses over them, like, don't think about it in the diner, is what they say about the time travel stuff. Don't think about it.
Yeah.
It's like going, look over there and running away.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole end sequence doesn't actually make sense.
Yeah.
If you analyse it.
That's Ryan Johnson too.
Is it?
Yeah, of episode 8 and...
That's Hayden Christensen, isn't it?
No, you're
No.
thinking of Jumper.
Jumper.
You're
Sorry.
the Jumper, yeah. No, Looper's with Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh
Gordon-Levitt.
yeah.
It's really good.
Wait, so what's the...
They're assassins. They're time
They're
assassins.
they're because it's in the future it's become so difficult to get away with murder that the mob is now sending people back in time so they can get killed in the past.
Yeah.
And they're using
That's
these assassins.
that's a good plot.
It's a great
And then they're
plot.
using assassins to then, and then when they retire, they get sent back and killed by another assassin, and that's
Yeah.
called closing your loop.
There's some really amazing elements to it, but because they fudge up the rules
also-
of it.
Also, Paul Dano.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
God,
Yeah.
you love a bit Paul Dano, don't you?
Yeah, they just kind of like they're like, time travel exists. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
We've got this whole looping system. Brilliant, love it. Telekinesis, fine. Okay,
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
that happens as well.
In for a
Yeah.
penny, in for a pound.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
bizarre.
and then if you like break down the ending, it doesn't work within the time travel law it's set up.
Have you seen it?
I think ages ago. I can't
Yeah.
really remember it.
So Bruce Willis is Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the future, comes back to kill a kid that will turn into like a mass murderer basically and kill his wife in the future. So he comes back and is about to kill the kid, but to stop him, he kills himself. Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. It's bizarre.
It's confusing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really confusing. I mean, you're gonna get confusion in time travel movies. aren't you?
Yeah, but most of them actually, I think, do it quite well to establish the rules. The 12 Monkeys, have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's again Bruce Willis.
Again, Bruce Willis.
Bruce
yeah.
Willis.
Yeah.
Well, I liked on that list that we found of the top 50 was
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Time travel movies. All the little like facts underneath them. My favourite one was the Rachel McAdams one.
Yeah.
That is
Time
like
Traveler's Wife and About Time.
Well, no, she's been in 4 time travel movies, but she's never travelled through time in any of them.
She just
She's
really
always
wants
been-
to travel.
She's always been like the partner of the time
How
traveler.
has no director picked up on this and like just got her as the lead in a time travel movie where she's the only one doing the time travel? That
So
would be
what,
cool.
what are they? So Time Traveler's Wife,
About
Time, Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange, and
I can't remember the other one.
no, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We were going back to 12 Monkeys. That's It's in some virus has almost wiped out humanity, and they're
That's
going.
a really bizarre film, actually. Isn't
It is very bizarre.
But you don't know whether
Brad Pitt is phenomenal in that.
Yeah.
you don't know whether that reality exists or whether it's just him, like kind of like Joker actually from last week. Or the
Yeah.
week before, like whether that society in the future exists or whether it's just like a figment of his.
Well, because he's having those
Psychosis.
dreams where he sees himself, spoiler alert, get killed in the airport.
Yeah.
So as
Yeah,
a child,
yeah,
so
yeah,
he's
yeah.
kind of in a weird time loop himself. And it turns out the virus didn't come from Brad Pitt's character. It came from one of the people, well, potentially one of the people that's sending him back in time. So that's quite an interesting premise.
That's
but
Terry
Gilliam.
Terry Gilliam.
Yeah.
Monty Python. Thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to think of his other ones. Did he do Dr. Parnassus?
Yes, I think he did.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, he
Yeah.
did. Because Heath Ledger was supposed to be in that.
Well, that was
he
his last one.
film.
Yeah, when he died. Yeah. So 12 Monkeys is good.
Yeah.
Good time law. It's a good solid movie.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the better ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which would you say aren't so good for you?
Back to the Future 3.
I like Back to the Future 3.
What, when they're in like the Wild West? And it's still like Biff's great-great-great-grandfather.
Yeah.
They can't come up with a new antagonist. Everyone's got to be related to this Biff character.
That's true. There is some great jokes in that.
Obviously, Terminator 1 and 2 are amazing.
Yes.
Terminator.
Terminator 2 is the best for me. Just because of the Terminator's like whole setup in that film.
Yeah.
Like the how he can like melt into like liquid mercury and then reform.
The T-1000.
Yeah.
They're so different though. 1 and 2. One's I would say a horror film. 2 is an action film.
Yeah.
I think you're right on that.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And that, yeah, interestingly on the Terminator, all the latest ones, I've read these theories that what's happening in the Terminator franchise or universe is because Skynet and whoever and the Resistance keep sending Terminators back in time, they're just fracturing the timeline more and more as they go about it. And that's why, like, none of them make sense in continuity.
No.
That's
You're not writing your way out of that one.
Yeah.
Although how it's a good parallel, isn't it? Skynet. I can absolutely imagine Sky News or like Sky and fucking Rupert Murdoch just like somehow activating and triggering Doomsday.
Yeah.
And we're all like, I knew he was, obsessed with defaming people, but I didn't realise that he was just going to be the end of the world.
That's one where you go back where you're allowed to affect the past and it will benefit or
but
detriment the
so
future.
they've gotten very lucky. I suppose the one good thing about time travel movies is you can change your law because you can just make a new film where it goes back further and stops the events of all the other ones happening.
Yeah.
So what they're doing now with this new Terminator that's coming out is saying, okay, 1 and 2 exist, and then the rest of them don't exist because something's going to stop them existing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
as
well, in that
continuity.
it's the Sarah Connors stopped Doomsday, didn't she?
Judgment Day, yeah.
Judgment Day, sorry.
Yeah.
But it still didn't completely change the scenario of the.
Yeah. But I'm quite happy to say, okay, 1, 2 exists. If this new one is any good, then no, I don't think it is. But continue from there.
And a similar vibe is X-Men: Days of Future Past.
Yes.
That kind of
Well, yeah,
So
again, they
that's-
modelled the storyline there, didn't
Yeah.
they? Because in Dark Phoenix, they're all meant to be in their 50s.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, especially Beast and Mystique are meant to be
Yeah.
like 50 years old, and they look about like
30.
early 30s,
Yeah.
like late 20s.
So yeah, I suppose that's a kind of different route of time travel movies. It's not like you can't go back and change the past because we want to keep this future. They're like, please go back, change whatever you need to change to stop this reality from happening.
Yep.
Which is quite a cool twist, I think.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah, that's a good movie, and they do quite a good job of putting it in the time they go back to. They like stylize it with world events, what's going on. That's pretty good.
And also you've got the parallel storylines going on at once. Like in a lot of usually in time travel movies you just follow the protagonist. So you go with them in their own time.
Yeah.
Like they go into the past or they go into the future. But this one, you've got Wolverine going into the past to try and affect the Sentinels being made,
Yeah.
but also the defense of who is it? Kitty? Yeah.
Price.
Kitty
Yeah.
Pryce keeping Wolverine in this state in present day defending against the Sentinels.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool,
yeah.
I think.
And that adds to the tension too, because at first you're like, meh.
It's kind of a
don't care.
little bit like Inception-y, I find. Like,
Yes.
you got those different physical places.
Well, Christopher Nolan's got one. If we're talking about Inception, Interstellar
Yeah.
has time travel.
I thought you were going to say Memento for a minute, and I was like, it's not though, is it? It's just mixed.
No, it's just
It's reverse
amnesia.
narrative.
Yeah. I think
Interstellar's, I think it's a solid movie.
I think it's his weakest though,
yeah.
or maybe The Dark Knight
That's,
Rises.
I mean,
it's not a
if
bad.
one of those
weak
is
film.
your worst film,
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
not doing badly.
I like the whole like different gravity. Like they try to be scientific with it in this one. Like the gravity affecting the passage of time. And
That
stuff
bit's
like
really
that,
clever.
which is really cool.
This is definitely Interstellar is probably the most accurate in our real world. You
Not
know,
Back to the Future.
I wish.
2015 hovering skateboards.
Oh man, I wish.
You're 4 years
I really-
late, guys.
Yeah, actually, speaking of Back to the Future, that's a movie. Like when we're getting this idea together and thinking about Back to the Future, I think that's one of those movies that changed my life. Not in the way of like, oh my god, it's amazing. It's probably one of my favorites, but the skateboarding and playing guitar stuff has obviously had a direct impact on me as a child.
Yeah.
And I do those things now. You know, it's weirdly that.
I watched a comedian, John Mahoney, one of the, I can't remember. Talk about Back to the Future and how weird it is as a film. And like being in that pitch meeting where it's like, okay, we've got this cool kid, he's like 17, and his best friend. Oh, so is his best friend another 17? No, he's a disgraced 50-year-old scientist.
Do you think there's some crossover between Back to the Future and Rick and Morty?
Yes.
Yeah, for
100%.
sure.
Yeah, do you think that's
definitely.
like what they've based it
Oh,
on? Where
yeah.
they got the,
Yeah, definitely. We're getting that soon as well.
yeah, that does come out
next
soon.
series.
Yeah, that is worth a mention actually, Rick and
Also,
Morty.
what's up with the title of Back to the Future?
Because he has to get back to the future.
Yeah, just
Or back to his present.
yeah. It's
Really?
just very confusing, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's a great, I don't know,
Yeah.
a great chinchit. You know, originally it was going to be a fridge, not a DeLorean.
Was it?
Yeah. But they
Fridge.
didn't want like kids trapping themselves in a fridge.
And actually, it led to like a skyrocket in DeLorean sales,
Yeah.
didn't it? They're still worth an absolute fortune
Really?
now,
Yeah,
I think.
definitely, yeah.
That is a genuine concern, I suppose. Like kids were eating like those pods last year, weren't they?
I just like to see it as survival of the fittest. That society goes through like a cleansing process every now and then, where we get rid of the weak and unintelligent.
Yeah, Back to the Future is a fun watch, but
I think it's amazing. Yeah. That, there's got, as a time travel movie, it's got all the right elements. A
Yeah.
great, you know, time machine. It's got all the rules are in place. It doesn't
yeah,
ruin itself.
that's probably the coolest time machine. I would say the lamest time machine's got to be the Time Machine, H.G. Wells.
I watched that the other night.
Did you
after we were
watch it?
talking about, yeah, it's like a weird.
Fucking atrocious.
What is it?
So
it's
I
like
watched
Santa's
it-
sleigh, almost, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's like a sleigh with a big circle on the back.
What?
Yeah.
Have you never seen this?
No.
It's an
Where's
old
this from?
60s movie.
We read this in English at GCSE.
Oh,
the
did
Time
you?
Machine, and then we watched the film as well, like from the 1960s. They did a remake in 2012 as well.
Who's in that?
I don't know,
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
but he basically he invents a time machine and he travels to like the year 12 million.
Oh, yeah.
Like didn't even go like 4,000, 5,000, like 12 million.
Let's take it for a test drive.
That's basically, that's like a picture of it, but that's what it
Oh, look at his face.
Yeah, he loves it.
I like it.
And so he
Oh,
goes,
I quite like that.
Yeah.
what?
That's not lame.
That's the lamest like time traveling.
Or what
device.
would your time machine look like, Joe?
Cooler than that?
Well, at first he puts a cigar in it, doesn't it? But he bends it so it looks like the cigar's sitting in his like miniature device.
The funniest bits at the start of that movie when all of his mates are waiting for him to show up to dinner. And he's like, he's late. And he turns up, it's like, yeah, sorry, I'm late. I
Sorry
was
about
time
that.
traveling into the future.
I was womanizing in the future. he goes so far ahead that there's now these the human race is split, and there's some living underground. I can't remember their name.
Murlocs.
The Murlocs, and they're blue and kind of look like apes. And there's the
Eloy,
Eloy, who are all just like Aryans, basically. Lovely skin.
But they live
hair.
above. But then is it Murlocs?
I think it is Murlocs.
Like eat them.
Yeah, eat them. It's quite dark.
Yeah,
it's very like, I guess in these.
So cannibalization has become acceptable in
in
society.
the
year 12 million.
Well, they're like different species, basically.
Yeah, and they breed them to then eat them, but they let them live to a certain age, which is very I think Ender's Game.
Yeah.
Is that a sci-fi book? Is that what it's called?
And they got the siren that puts them in the trance as well,
which is the old war siren, which is the fire alarm on the Isles of Scilly.
Are they not at war with each other then, these two
No,
subsets?
there's some weird like
Agreement.
balance.
So the Eloi live on the surface and they like go about their day-to-day lives like quite happy, but then this siren will go off and they'll all start walking towards this cave.
Yeah.
Then the doors will shut and they'll trap a few of them inside, and those ones will get eaten basically.
Yeah.
And then they'll turn off the siren. They'll come out of their like days, go back to their like normal lives.
Can the what they call the Murlocs come out of the caves?
No.
Then?
No, they sunlight is their weakness.
Like, so when he first goes into future, he meets this woman who like nearly gets dragged off in the night by one of these Murlocs, but he then shines a light at it and it goes and like runs off. And then and then at the end of the story, like he goes back to his present day, like tells all his mates what happened, and they're like, yeah, right. Sure, gone. But he brings like a flower back.
Yeah,
and
he
his
does,
boss
yeah.
and his friend is like, this isn't from now. It's like, what botanist knows every flower?
Yeah.
I like to think I'm a very knowledgeable botanist.
The only explanation is time travel.
This is a fauna I am unfamiliar with.
and so then he leaves and goes back into the future to like live with the
this woman.
Eloy.
with the
Eloy.
with the women. With the woman that he falls in love with.
But he surely he's going to fuck up the whole gene pool because he's just a man.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll see in the
we'll
sequel.
see. I don't know why he didn't get her and bring her back to
Well, he tries,
modern
remember?
time.
He tries to do that, but the door's shut behind him and he's in the time machine. And she can't get in. So then what he does in the past, is he moves the time machine back, like physically. So where it goes in time, the physical area it's in is where it appears. So he drags it back. And then I think the interpretation is he goes back to that exact point he left.
Yeah.
Which is a very hard number to remember because it's like 12 million and 9/8 something.
Imagine that. Imagine meeting the love of your life. 12 million and like 98 years and 3 months into the future, and then being like not remembering what was it?
Yeah.
12 million 94?
But it's very like, I mean, you say love of your life, it's very 1950s love of your life, where he just turns up and he's like, right, you're with me, kind of thing.
I saved you.
Yeah,
you're with me now.
You're mine now. It's quite bad in that respect.
And it ends with the stupidest line in the world. Do you remember the final line of the film?
Oh yeah, it's
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
If it was that good, no. It's like his maid is there and his friends turn up. It's like, where's he gone? And she's like, I don't know, but I'm guessing he has all the time in the world.
And then it freeze frames. It's like, you're the best.
That doesn't mean anything.
No,
No, it
I know.
doesn't.
It doesn't mean a thing.
It's basically a wink at the camera.
The maid literally goes,
That's your whole thing of like, I guess that's why this is Superman 4.
Return of Zod.
Superman 4 is where they frisbee the S's at each other, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't watch a time machine, mate.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Superman, there is a Superman film where he goes back in time.
Yeah,
Yes,
he flies around
there
the
is.
world.
He flies around the world as quickly as he can to save Lois Lane because a nuclear bomb has been launched by Lex Luthor to the...
Is it not an earthquake?
No, it's two
okay.
different nuclear bombs. One going to the East Coast and one going to the West Coast.
Ah, that's it.
And he chooses to save the West Coast. Oh, no, East Coast, sorry. But Lois Lane's on the West Coast and she dies. And then he gets tries. Apparently, he can time travel, and he's always been able to.
Which
So
yeah,
he
It's
it's
also
so
like-
stupid. So he's like he goes so fast around the world that the world starts spinning the other way, which means it goes back in time. That doesn't no. He's just fucked the rotation of the Earth is what he's done.
He would probably cause an even bigger natural disaster doing that. 'Cause all the tides would be thrown.
Just
and...
takes it out of the sun's orbit. It fucks off into Saturn like a fucking conker.
And also, traveling that fast would send you into the future, not the past. Well, Superman.
Yeah.
Wait, is Saturn mainly gaseous? So that's I just realised.
What?
You could collide with Saturn, couldn't you?
Yeah?
Yeah, but you couldn't collide with Jupiter because it's just gas.
It's not just gas.
I thought you would pass through it.
It's not just it's not just a big gas ball.
Or is that the rings? Maybe I'm thinking of the rings of Saturn.
The rings are
don't
just
know.
made of tiny little asteroids, aren't they? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Superman, there's no time travel law in that. It's just like, yeah, he can do this. He can do anything,
He can do
basically.
anything.
But it's also like, why didn't he just go back to the start and,
Yeah.
from the start of the movie, why didn't he just, when it starts going down,
Yeah,
just
you-
like, oh, I'm just going to time travel, sort this out.
You always get like the protagonist like at the end of these films going back to the exact moment like where the action goes instead of like a day before.
Yeah. Well,
and
he
just sorting
does-
the whole thing out.
He does do that on Back to the Future, which is really good. At the end, he's like, because, the Doc gets shot at the start,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
whole movie he's trying to, tell him, and he's like, no, don't interfere with time. So he's like, sitting in the car and just like, wait, I'm in a time machine. I'll go back 10 minutes before, stop him getting shot that way. But then obviously it stalls, I think, or runs out of gas or something. And yeah, again, which is like really good. No, well thought out rules.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great one. What do you reckon to the kind of the rom-com type? Have you seen About Time?
Yeah, so this was
I think
my
About Time's really good.
Yeah,
This-
I do too. Yeah.
this was actually my weird Korean link that I was going to tell you about.
Oh, please do.
So I hadn't seen About Time until till like last year, maybe the year before. But when I moved over there, every time like someone would be like, "Oh, so where are you from?" I'd be like, "Oh, I'm from Cornwall in England." They'd be like, "Oh, About Time," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "That film, About Time," and I was like, I had no idea what they were like saying, so I ended up watching this film and being like, "Yeah, it's set in Cornwall," but apparently, like globally, that's what people think of Cornwall. Is
Right.
About Time, and like that's the only thing they know that's associated with Cornwall, and it's like a huge film internationally.
Oh, right.
So if
Well,
you like,
the cast of Bait would say otherwise to these these Londoners in their mansion.
Isn't it? It's Richard E. Curtis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's got that kind of same Love
Yeah.
Actually, like saccharine feel to it.
Yeah.
I really like About Time.
I
that's,
do.
That's actually,
It's like a guilty pleasure for me, though.
also
Yeah.
a wardrobe's definitely the shittest time machine. I take back what I said earlier.
it's not a wardrobe. It's just a dark space. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I do really like the rules they establish in this that it's just like, yeah, it's passed down through this family. And then when you get to a certain point, like a kid being born or someone dying, if you go back, not
You
someone
change
dying
everything.
actually, if you go back, say, after your kid's born, you can't start messing with time before that moment because the kid changes, doesn't it? When he goes back, changes something, goes to the his present again, and it's
Goes
not
from a
his
girl
kid.
to a little boy.
Yeah, and that throws him. So there's like emotional stakes in it, which I think is really well done.
Yes, that is good. And do they play table tennis with his dad like one last time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bill Nye is just...
Why can his character only see his dad one last time? Is it because he has a kid?
I think
his dad
so.
has cancer.
Yeah, his dad has cancer.
but why can't he not just keep going back to that point?
I think it's from having the kid. I think you're right.
It's because he's had the kid. Yeah.
And Bill Nye figures it out, and he's just like, "Oh, this is like our last time together."
And he travels back to being a little boy, doesn't he? And Bill Nye travels back to being like his dad, and they go and play along the beach.
Yeah, they
That's
go
how they
sailing,
spend
I
their last
think.
day together.
Yeah.
Right. But then if he does that, then he's going to mess up the whole thing.
No, because he travels back to the exact point.
Yeah.
Because
right.
when his kid changes, he just travels back to where. Basically, he travels back because his sister's in a car crash and he's trying to look after her.
Yeah.
But then, Bill Nye's like, some things just have to happen. And,
Yeah.
Like, you find a way to cope with them.
Wasn't Margot Robbie in that film?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's like the friend.
First love
yeah.
interest. That's actually a really funny bit where he's reading outside. And she's like, "Oh, can you put the
Sun cream
on my back?" And he's like, first time he's like, "Yes!" Like runs over and just like shoots his load all over her back. And then he's like, "Oh," goes back in time. And then she's like, "Oh, can you put this on?" And he's like, "Yeah, give me a minute. Let me just finish this chapter."
Yeah.
Like, really coolly, like, goes over.
He is kind of creepy in the way he
is creepy.
he manipulates time to
get with Rachel McAdams' character.
To get with women.
I mean, it's the same kind of manipulations you find in Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I was going to talk about
the
Groundhog.
bar scene in that. He just keeps like ordering the same drink and being like, he's like, "Let's toast to world peace." And she's like,
Well,
"Oh, wow."
But no, I was thinking about this as well because equally they do just meet naturally, don't they?
Yes.
And they like really hit it off. And then he doesn't get her. Oh no, he gets her phone number, but he goes to see his friend's play afterwards.
Yeah.
Where the main actor in the play is like forgets his lines and fucks everything up, and then like out of like being a like kind man, he travels
That's
back in
it,
time
yeah.
with the cue cards at the side of the stage so that like his friend's play isn't ruined. And then after the play, he checks his phone and her number isn't in there because
Yeah.
he never met her because he travelled back to sort his friend out. But then it's kind of creepy how he like just stalks her in this museum.
Goes back and like manipulates it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Groundhog Day is great. I like when he goes back and he just messes with stuff to like when he like punches that guy, he's like Ned, and just whacks him in the face. There's I don't know. There's some great comedy moments.
Yeah, there's definitely like a little nod to the bartender knowing what's going on as well.
Oh,
Like,
is there?
It keeps like flashing to his like every time he orders a drink, he goes like he looks like slightly different. It's weird.
Oh, interesting.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah, I was reading something about it, and people were like, "Yeah, he definitely knows what's going on." It's like, how? How does he know what's going
Just
on?
got a knowing look.
That's part of those like 90s series of films where it's like you fall asleep and wake up and something's happened.
Yeah.
Like big and
Yeah. That's very much like the simplest time travel premise you can have in a movie.
definitely.
Let's just start the same day over and over again. Unlike
Great concept, though.
Arrival, which is probably the most complicated.
Yeah, I didn't finish watching Arrival, but I had to Wikipedia the rest of
Okay.
it so we could talk
Did you watch
about
Arrival?
I've never seen it, but I know what happens
Oh, really?
in really specific detail. I think maybe you told me one night when we were a bit pissed up.
it. What a
I'm
conversation
sure that
to have.
conversation was so well formulated.
Well, I remember it word for word. So
Yeah, like I thought it was a really slow burn when I watched it.
Yes, I found that.
this was Amy Adams got nominated for an Oscar for this, didn't she?
Did she
Yes.
get nominated for this?
Yeah,
I think she did,
I
yeah.
think so.
Amy Adams is phenomenal.
Didn't like her as Lois Lane, but like her in everything else she's been
Yeah,
in.
I agree.
And
And Remy Jenner.
Remy Jenner.
Remy Jenner.
Yeah, 'cause this is definitely one of those films that like it all comes together at the end, and so it's such a big payoff when you're watching it. But like during the film, you're like, "Oh, am I enjoying this? Does this make sense?" Like, it's one of those ones that definitely will benefit from a second viewing, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
On ones that make sense and slow burns, how do you guys feel about Donnie Darko?
It's cult though, isn't it? Some
Yeah.
people
I
absolutely
don't like
love it.
Donnie Darko, to be honest.
I'm glad you said this because
Because not anything to do with the movie, due to like so many of my friends when we're like 16, 17,
Yeah.
starting to become a little bit like alternative.
a little bit edgy.
Be like, "Oh my god, Donnie Darko is like my favourite film." And it's
Harry?
like, yeah, Harry.
Got him.
How did you know it was Harry?
The impression, obviously.
Yeah, and it's like, oh come on, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Like your favourite film's Happy Feet. We both know.
It's one of those movies. It tries to be so cool
Yeah.
that because it's got that cult status, like you were saying, Arlo.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually really make that much sense when you watch it, but because everyone's telling you, "Oh my god, this is so edgy," I feel like you kind of have to go with it.
It's
for
a,
it to be
it's a
good.
young Jake Gyllenhaal,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
Jake
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
He's also fond of time traveling in Source Code.
3 of them.
Yeah, what's the other one?
Source Code is good actually.
Source Code's really good.
But again, I wouldn't class. Is that a time travel film?
Is it just the twist is time travel at the end?
Well, the twist the
Time
twist is
travel.
completely stupid.
What's it? Remind me of the twist again.
So Source Code. So basically the premise is there's is it a terrorist plot?
Yeah, on a
Or
train.
something on a train, and he keeps going back
To find out who it is.
to find out who it
It's
is.
like 12
to
Monkeys.
stop it.
Yeah, that's it.
And then you find out at the end that he's basically like an ex-army that's been completely blown up, and so his physical body is in pieces.
Right.
But then at the end, he goes back and stops, and then lives in the source code. But it's like that doesn't
stupid.
really work because you've just taken. You don't look like Jake Gyllenhaal in that. You're just like some random guy. I really liked the movie up until like
the last 10 minutes.
Because it felt like fan service.
Talking of that, like, this is how you're portrayed when you're time traveling. I think Hot Tub Time Machine does this really well. That obviously it's the actors that we see all the time, but when you see it from the people they're interacting with's perspective, it's like a younger version of them.
I haven't seen Hot Tub Time Machine.
Really, it's
I thought we watched it together, didn't we?
No, I haven't seen it.
I was surprised at how good that was.
Yeah, it is very good.
I thought it was just like a stupid comedy.
It is. It kind of works.
Who's in it?
The guy with the small mouth, John Cusack.
The nerdy kid as well. He's in like loads of TV shows. I can't remember his name.
It's just a lot of that guy, isn't it?
What's his face from
The Office?
From This Is the End. From The Office.
Yeah.
The foreman in The Office.
Yeah.
I thought it was him.
That it is very funny.
Does one of them sleep with their mum or something in that?
One of them, no. One of them sleeps with one of the other one's mums, and then it transpires at the end that he's actually his dad.
Yeah. It is really funny. It does.
That's like that episode of Futurama where Fry becomes his own grandfather.
Yeah. Craig Robinson is obviously the guy of the US office we were talking about. Clark Duke is the kind of, again, he's like this the Guy Ritchie actor we mentioned last week, Eddie Marsan. Like if you see Clark Duke, you'll instantly know who he is.
He's also in The Office.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In the later seasons.
It's enjoyable, isn't it?
It is enjoyable.
It's really good.
It does borderline on parody, though.
Really?
It's a very fine line. It doesn't quite go there, but it is.
Did they give
ridiculous.
a reason why the hot tub is a time machine?
I think it's very 90s in the way that like some magician had it or something like that. Is it not?
I can't remember.
Yeah, you know that kind of like in Big, this has a spooky thing to it. Wait, that person's not there anymore. That kind of thing, I think.
Okay. Is it worth a watch? Should I watch it?
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, if you're in the mood.
Did they do a second one as well?
Yeah, I didn't see it. But yeah, I would say don't watch that. But if you're in the mood for something really silly that you can kind of have on in the background and then also sit down and enjoy, I'd go Hot Tub Time Machine. Yeah. It's fun. Yeah.
Yeah. What about I don't know if you've seen this, the basically action Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I have seen it. I do have a very good story about this.
Go on.
My housemates at university, they did for their degree was something to do with special effects and model making, and one of them got work experience on this film.
Wow.
This is the one with Tom Cruise in, right?
Yeah.
So he was on set with Tom Cruise, and there's a scene with like a
he was terrified.
Well, it's great. A sort of like submarine type boat thing.
Right.
And so my friend's job was to like, I can't remember what the title is, but when, you know, stuff gets scuffed, they have to repaint it between takes and stuff, you know, just like maintenance on the set.
Yeah,
basically.
touching stuff up.
Yeah.
Not Tom Cruise.
I don't know why that was funny.
That was juvenile of us. Yeah. So he was, and Tom Cruise was there, and they're between takes, and he's like, oh yeah, you know, talking about boats and stuff, and he's like, oh, have you seen Das Boot? And Tom Cruise is like, yeah, I've seen Das Boot, and my mate goes, will there be a sequel to this Edge of Tomorrow? And Tom Cruise goes, I am the sequel, and starts laughing like a maniac. Like head back, just going, ha 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 ha. And my friend is standing there exactly like your reaction, just like doesn't know where to look. It's like, okay.
What? I don't know what he means.
Tom Cruise is like crazy. You know that, right?
Yeah.
We've spoken about that before.
Didn't that film get renamed as well? Is that
Yes,
Live, Die, Repeat?
No,
yeah.
that's in a different country, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called that in a different country. It was originally called All You Need Is Kill because it's based on a graphic novel.
Oh, right.
I think is what it's called. And then it got changed to Edge of Tomorrow, I think, to make it more mainstream, and then probably in China.
Emily Blunt's quite good in that.
Yeah, it is a pretty solid movie,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. It's something like Tom Cruise gets infected by the serum that allows him to time travel.
Well, no, sorry, we're talking about the film, not real life.
He just keeps dying every time, doesn't he?
To be fair, he must be time traveling. He looks about 35.
Yeah.
The man's easily in his 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like him keep dying. Him keep dying?
Him keep dying.
Is kind of they do that but in a funnier way in Doctor Strange.
Yes.
I thought the last 10 minutes was really funny. The whole
the Dormammu.
I'm here to bargain. Like, it's such a good way to. There's not a final boss that's like there's going to be an epic battle.
Yeah.
Like Doctor Strange getting munched like 20 times by like big spikes and lasers and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's good. You would have liked to do that with Tom Cruise. Like, how many ways can we kill Tom Cruise?
Now you're talking.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to work on the special effects team for that.
I think Doctor Strange is actually really underrated.
Yeah, I do. Well.
I think as a standalone.
Visually, it's phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, it's
I
incredible.
watched it in the cinema and it was...
Yeah, me too.
It's one of those game changers, isn't it? I think that it
Yeah,
shares...
apparently like Gemini Man.
but it shares a lot with Inception, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That kind of...
Yeah, but Inception's a lot more... like, a lot of it was practical effects, apart from, like, obviously the buildings bending and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the fight... Like, that... the hallway fight is all...
Yeah.
They made that. That's mental when you actually watch the scene.
Yeah.
Scene.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Was it Doctor Strange? Yeah, that kind of... I guess it's based around the time stone, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is the time travel, isn't it? Yeah. That leads us into Endgame. They brush over the time travel stuff. Well, bits of it are very...
I mean, it was 3 hours anyway.
Yeah.
And so, like, them just... Tony Stark just going, I did it.
Yeah. I figured out time travel.
Yeah, but that is in keeping with his character
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, true.
Look what I've done.
Yeah.
I love how he tries to go have, like, a conversation. He's like, with Pepper. He's like, so, what you been up to today? And she's like, well, I've been reading this book on composting. And he's like, I've done it. By the way, I've done it.
That was
Like,
just Gwyneth Paltrow talking in real life.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like between takes, she's got no idea what scene she's in or what
She
movie
is
it is.
basically one big bag of compost anyway.
That's the second time we've gone after Gwyneth Paltrow in this episode.
Yeah, so in Endgame, it'd be interesting to see how these rules affect the greater MCU, because it's something like as long as Captain America or whoever goes back and you put the stones back to where they were, then the timeline won't be altered. But it's also broken.
There was that scene between not Doctor Strange, sorry, but the Ancient One.
Tilda Swinton.
and Hulk,
I think they did really well in that scene.
Yes.
where they kind of explained how that all worked.
So basically, what we can gather from that is that the Loki film will be set in a different timeline.
Yes.
Because he has now the Tesseract.
Yes.
And he disappeared.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
I think Endgame did a very good job with its rules, and because think of how many characters they had, and how they had to get the stones from those different times and stuff, and keep the continuity.
Yeah, it
was quite impressive.
Hats off to the writers, really.
Yeah, no, it did well.
Yeah. What's that? That time machine's just a portal, isn't it? Watch. They do. No, they're GPSs, aren't they? Time.
Yeah, so those are GPSs to make sure they go to the right place.
Yeah.
Or something.
It's funny that actually we're talking of butterfly effects. It's technically a rat that saves the world.
Yeah. So they came out and they basically said the other 14 million and 8 times were just when that rat didn't step on the on the pad.
Imagine that. Oh no,
not this time.
Have you seen the butterfly effect?
That's the one with
Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher. I dislike him a lot, to be
Yeah.
honest. I can't think of anything I like him in. People rave about the 80s show, but
That 70s show.
that 70s show, sorry.
It's very easy watching.
It's him and Mila Kunis, isn't it?
Yes. But he's not the main guy in it. He's like the kind of wacky guy that hangs
really?
around. Yeah.
No, and yeah, I mean, what was he in as well? What's it called? 2.5 Men after Charlie Sheen got Tiger Blood.
Have you seen Not About Time? What did I just say? Butterfly effect.
No.
Okay.
But that's where he goes back and tries to save his girlfriend, right? Or something like that?
No, what did they do? They put a a firecracker in a letterbox and it kills a baby. It's really dark. Yeah, and
What?
I
haven't seen this.
Yeah, it's basically. I think this is the main thing. Basically, there's one event in their lives that just causes this chain reaction. So the whole film is about him trying to prevent this.
So this kind of links up with Donnie Darko as like the solution is basically to kill the time traveler,
which is one of the endings of Butterfly Effect. It's got 3 endings, I think.
Yeah, because he goes back and strangles himself in the womb, doesn't he?
Yeah,
Butterfly
yeah.
Effect.
That's one of them. The endings, ridiculous.
Okay.
And obviously in what was the other one I just mentioned?
Donnie Darko.
Donnie Darko. He just lets the plane land on him at the end.
Yeah, so ridiculous.
So you don't like it as well. I'm very surprised at that.
Yeah, I'm not edgy and cool.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
You've seen Time Bandits, haven't you?
I have seen time quite a long time
Yeah,
ago.
me
as well.
too. I was hoping you'd remind me of the time stuff.
Well, no, I think I saw it because I was so into Monty Python when I was a kid.
Right.
But I don't remember it. I remember it being quite surreal and like farcical. But that's Terry Gilliam again.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
He's got a thing for time.
Yeah. Well, there's a few of them. Christopher Nolan, he's like usually has some kind of portal or time device going on in his movies. I'm trying to think we haven't mentioned Bill and Ted. I think one of the best.
Excellent Adventure. That's that one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the first one. I think that's one of the best time machines because it makes so much sense having like a phone dial to send you back. You know?
You mean like Doctor Who?
Oh, damn it is.
What is it with Keanu Reeves and loving phone boxes?
I've mentioned this.
So I've heard recently, like, how the hell are they going to do that in the new Matrix? Has anyone seen a phone box in like in the last decade?
Well, there's still some around London they use to like advertise.
They use as urinals.
Yeah, and advertise prostitutes, I think.
Yeah. Well,
they've got those new the BT free cooling stations as well.
Yeah.
I've seen those. I've seen people using them. They
you
seem really bizarre to me.
I think.
Yeah, they are a bit weird.
Bill and Ted's great. That's got some great rules.
So good.
Yeah.
What are the rules in that one?
That is, I think that's similar that you can go back as long as you go back. It's like whatever you set up in the future, as long as you rectify it in the past, it works. So they do stuff like, where's the guy's keys? Like, I've got the keys. They sort of think things and they're like, okay, as long as we go back and do that, kind of like Endgame, this will work out, this timeline will work out. So there's that bit when they plant a trap for the bin to fall on that guy's head.
Yeah.
We'll put the keys in this plant pot. Okay, we have to remember to go back and do it. You never see any of this happen. It's all off screen, but they go back and do these things. And he's like, oh, it turns out I did steal my dad's keys and stuff like that.
I love when they call Socrates Socrates.
Yeah.
And they get everyone for like history presentation at the end. Don't they?
That's amazing. And I love
Napoleon goes to Waterloo. The big like slide amusement park, basically.
Yeah.
I love that.
And he loves it. And they take him to the ice cream place and they stick on the sticker for like eating the big ice cream sundae, and he's got it with all his like battle medals. It's just like above them all, they're like, eat the pig. Yeah, that's great. And they say to Socrates, they recite, is it Kansas lyrics?
Yeah.
Dust, wind, dude, and he's just like, huh?
It's so good.
Yeah, that's great. The second one's not so good.
Bogus Journey.
Yeah,
it's called.
they end up Death plays bass for them.
Yeah, I think isn't the premise that in the future they've basically formed everyone's impression of like how society should work?
Yeah.
So everyone is just there like air guitaring.
Yeah.
And like wearing sunglasses and these long trench coats. It's hilarious. Wild Stallions, yeah.
Do you reckon they should make a new Bill and Ted?
They're doing it.
I thought they were.
Yeah, I can't remember when it's coming. I think maybe they're filming now.
Excellent.
I've got a few more to talk about. Well, have you guys seen Planet of the Apes?
Which
Original?
one?
The original.
Mark Wahlberg one.
I've not seen that.
I've seen. I actually watched the like realization moment in the original Planet of the Apes quite recently because I'm not sure where I'm not sure where I stand on that acting.
Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas.
Yeah. Charlton Heston is all he does is just like shout at the camera. That's his acting.
Yeah. He can talk.
I can
sing.
Can I play the piano anymore? Of course you can. Well, I couldn't before.
I love you can watch The Simpsons like a 30-second skit on The Simpsons just gives away the whole Planet of the Apes and reduces it just to this comedy. It's great.
Troy McClure.
Yeah.
What a character.
There's a bit in Planet of the Apes where so they're in a spaceship and they think they're going to another planet. Turns out they time travel and it's Earth all along. Is the twist. But there's a bit when one of the other astronauts dies and they bury him and they put down a little American flag. And there's this scene where Charlton Heston just goes and just starts laughing like a maniac, and the camera zooms in on his face. It's just got no context. It's really bizarre. I'll play it to you guys later on
Fantastic.
YouTube.
Can't wait.
It's amazing, but just so bizarre.
Yeah,
I like that twist though. I think that's really good.
I think I knew about it. It's such a famous twist, isn't it? Like Sixth Sense, for example.
Yeah.
Like that I think I must have known it before watching.
Well, Bruce Willis is dead the whole time.
Yeah.
Did you see the Mark Wahlberg one?
No.
Bruce Willis again.
Is it?
Maybe not time travel, but he's a ghost this time.
What?
The Sixth Sense.
Right. Yeah.
He's everywhere.
Yeah.
Because in that one, in the Mark Wahlberg one, he's so he's like, it's really weird. He goes back in time at the end to present day, and like instead of going to seeing the Statue of Liberty, he goes to the Lincoln Memorial, which has been replaced with an ape Lincoln Memorial, which makes zero fucking sense at all. And the director came out afterwards and was like, yeah, I don't know.
Thought it was funny.
Well, I think the original premise was that they were supposed to make a sequel, where like the antagonist that Mark Wahlberg's character was fighting against in the future had actually then gone back further in the past and influenced history so that he became like Lincoln, essentially.
Oh my god!
I think that was the loose.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
But yeah, because it never got greenlit, it just ends with this like turning up to the Lincoln Memorial where it looks like Lincoln, but just with a monkey face.
Can you imagine a director on set? It's like, where do you want the 200-foot fake granite ape statue? Just over there. Just over there. It's fine. Yeah, cheers. I can't believe we're still doing that.
I don't think they changed the original though. Imagine getting that through like the council at Washington DC. Can we just change the actual Lincoln Memorial?
We'll change it back afterwards. Apparently, that's the rules.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah. I've got a few more I can rattle off.
Yep.
If you've seen Army of Darkness, the third Evil Dead, when he travels back to
This is my boomstick.
Yeah. I love there's that scene where he's standing around and the car like travels slightly later behind him. So the car just crashes out of the air and they're all like, woo. That's great.
That's good.
Yeah, that's a good one. Pleasantville, have you seen that?
I haven't, no.
That's really good, actually. That's Tobey Maguire and someone else.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, go back to like the 50s or something. End
Right.
up time traveling back to the 50s and like everything's kind of like a 50s TV show. You know, everything's too nicey nice, and they're kind of fighting against that. But they also have to get home. Last one. Have you guys seen Time Cop?
No, but I liked the on that list of the 50 greatest time travel movies. Firstly, Time Cop was number 50, and the fact about the film underneath, because each one had a fact, said Time Cop 2 is not a good film. That was it.
That's pretty good. I think that's similar to Looper in that he's basically like
Oh, sorry, my bad.
he's a time cop obviously.
Yeah,
He just has to police the time.
It's Thomas Jefferson that she goes to see after Abe Lincoln.
Thomas Jefferson, is it?
And he's like, I'm so lonely.
So, do we think there's such a thing as a really bad time travel movie?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of them.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, for me, they all have like heart. I don't know why.
It's where you set the tone for the film, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It can be farcical or it can be like groundbreaking.
Yeah.
It's either one way or the
hard
other.
to do as well. Like, I think Arrival's probably done it justice the best.
Okay.
Recently or just
Recently,
overall?
yeah, maybe overall. But again, like, I don't know. It's not like a genre like that everyone's like, oh, I can't wait to see the next time travel.
Yeah,
movie.
true.
It's not like a zombie genre in
Yeah.
that sense, is it? I don't know. It's quite interesting, and there's so many different types of time travel. There's traveling to the future and past are two completely different types of movies.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like what we've said about zombie movies is that when the time travel is like the secondary thing,
Yes.
it becomes
'Cause, I mean, that's-
a better movie.
That's what's so good about time,
Yeah,
because the actual him time traveling aspect isn't like a massive plot. It's about the family.
Yeah.
And like his meeting with Rachel McAdams.
yeah, definitely.
And stuff like that. So when they make it just about the, like, again, Arrival was about like her relationship with Jeremy Renner's character and
Yeah.
her daughter in the future
Yeah.
and stuff, and like the communication with this alien species. So I mean, I don't know.
All
What do you
good
think?
stuff. Yeah. I completely agree. Actually, yeah. I think either you get the stakes right, you do it like Back to the Future. You know, when he's obviously got to get his parents together and stop and make sure he exists in the future. Similar with like Terminator type vibe. You know, when like there's stakes
Yeah.
that could affect the whole universe or your personal universe, or do it, about time where it's, it's not just about time travel. It's about something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I guess this is a good way to wrap up.
Yeah. Do you wanna, before we go, do you want to know my time travel fact?
Yeah, it's out
Go on.
next Friday.
This is my time travel fact that I learned from Dr. Brian Cox.
Ryan.
Cut.
That if you were to travel in a spaceship at 99.994% of the speed of light for 5 years, going in one direction,
Yeah.
and then turn around and do it back 5 years, so you came back to Earth, so you would have travelled 10 years in this spaceship. The Earth would have gone 29 years into the future,
Wow.
because speed and
Yeah,
space and time are
Yeah.
so intrinsically
Would you have
linked.
aged?
You would have aged 10 years.
And the Earth would have gone 29. Yes.
It's like the blip.
So yeah, so like the closer to the speed of light you get, the slower time
Yeah.
goes for you.
Yeah, so do you age as quickly as my...
No.
No, that's what I'm saying.
But you said you spent 10 years in that spaceship.
Yeah, on my watch. I'm in the spaceship going that speed for
But do you-
5 years that way, 5 years back.
But do you physically age 10 years?
Of course you
Yeah.
physically age 10 years. Yeah.
That I'm always quite interested. Do you remember Bernard's watch? It's an old kid's
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pausing time. I always wondered, what happens to him? Because when you're messing around with time, you're obviously aging. Or any of these films, like Back to the Future, him going back and living. I guess he lives a week, an extra
Yeah.
week in his life, and comes back
Yeah,
to
I
the
suppose,
exact
yeah.
moment. That's the bad thing about coming back on that exact moment.
Yeah,
You've
you're going to keep
aged.
getting older.
Yeah. There you go. Well,
Unless you do it like about time and he
Yeah.
just goes to
Back.
be himself at
Yeah,
a
yeah.
younger age. But that's very rarely the case with time travel.
have you got an ideal time machine?
Toaster,
Yeah.
like in The Simpsons. No, yeah, I don't know. I guess the toaster's the funniest, I think.
Yeah, Toaster's a good one.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because it needs to be... In that setting, it doesn't have to be big enough to step inside. But I feel like that's where everyone's mind goes to, is like it has to be something
Yeah.
you can, as a human,
Physically,
step
yeah.
into.
Yeah.
Or like drive or ride
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, I suppose that's
Could-
probably the...
Or, hot tub.
Yeah,
Oh,
hot tub.
I mean, yeah, what are the different kind of... What did he use in Butterfly Effect? For
I
example?
think it's similar to about time that he like closes his eyes and does something.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know. I can't really
Says a
remember
little
it.
wish and clicks his heel together 3
Yeah,
times.
yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. Oh, do you know what? Talking about, I mean, I don't think it's not really time travel, but have you seen Return to Oz?
Is that with Zach Braff? Is it that one?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
It's the sequel to Wizard of Oz. It was done in the 80s. It's
Oh,
terrifying.
in the 80s? No,
yeah.
it won't be.
She goes back to Oz,
All right.
and
Hence
yeah,
the title.
yeah, yeah, and it's all just like a wasteland and apocalyptic, and there's some really messed up stuff going on there.
Shit.
And because in her timeline, she is in a mental hospital after the events of the first film.
What?
Yeah, it's really dark.
Is it a completely different cast?
Yeah, it was done in the 80s, so it's
Yeah.
it's cool. So next week, are we going to do something horror based for Halloween, or are we going to do Terminator?
Depends if I want to sleep at night.
I would quite like to do something horror based. Obviously, we're not that like read up on horror.
Yeah.
As we don't really watch a huge amount
It's
of it.
outside of our comfort zone, isn't it? Maybe we should do something like
Yeah, I thought maybe it's a good reason to talk about why we're not so good on horror, and then do a horror thing too.
Yeah.
Maybe
that. Yeah?
and do Terminator the week after.
Sounds good to me.
Sweet.
Definitely.
Well, on that note, thanks for listening. You can find us on all the major listening platforms.
Wherever I've seen a phrase going around on that, and everyone just says wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that.
Like it. Okay, cool.
Wherever you get your podcast.
Wherever you get your podcasts,
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
Stop repeating.
Was that a time displacement?
Oh.
And if you got a question or
This was actually
anything-
recorded next Saturday. Sorry, that was a really shit joke.
Yeah, I think I laughed more out of sympathy than anything else.
if you've got any kind of question or comment, we're on Twitter, Instagram, and Gmail.
Yep.
Send us something.
Yeah.
Send us something from the future or past or present.
And if anyone is following our Twitter, please guess what film I put up there, because we've had very little feedback on that.
Well, you need to
Starting
be
to
more
help.
active.
Why? I've posted 3 times in 3 days.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, decent.
Nice.
I'm picking it up.
Okay.
I'm
Well
launching
done.
our
He's
Twitter
back.
game.
We're back.
We're back.
Cool.
All right.
Cheerio.
Cheers.
Peace.
Bye bye.
See you another time.
Fucking hell. Why would you? Why would you? Why would you? Why would you?